So I have been a part of Beach Church as the lead pastor for 22 years. Next Gen Ministries are the heart of that church. You hear that statistic all the time that, it's like 85% of all those who give their lives to Christ do so before the age of 18. So I will never forget the interview we had with Joby Martin, because I just knew coming out of that I don't know what it's going to take to get him here, but we got to figure out how to make that happen.
Talked to Jerry on the phone, trying to work out all the things. In a conversation, he's like, I was praying in my quiet time this morning about you, and I think you should consider coming here. So I just wanted to follow a pastor or follow a leader that prayed and did what Jesus told him to do. That's all I was looking for. And that defines who Pastor Jerry Sweat is. He's literally the best Christian I've ever met in my whole life. He wakes up in the morning, reads his Bible, and he acts like it. When I got to town, Ryan Sweat was a senior, so I had him for about a year. One of the most influential students that I've ever been around. From the moment I knew Ryan Sweat, he loved Jesus and was very serious about Jesus, and he loved people a lot. And he was also a leader. He just lead. He's Reagan's favorite preacher in student ministry. But it's really neat to see that he also grew up in my student ministry, and you can see some influences there. To teach a kid the Bible 24 years ago, and then now every single week, that same kid, who's now a grown man with kids, teaches my kid the Bible.
Yes, Pastor Jerry is my dad. Joby got hired to be my student pastor when I was a senior in high school, and now he's my boss. So I lead students at San Pablo. I've been student pastor for 12 years, and really, my role is to raise up students to know Jesus and to not graduate from their faith when they graduate from high school, but hopefully be adults that follow Jesus for the rest of their lives. When I got here, Reagan was a 7th grader. She's now a 9th grader, so she's in our high school ministry. The last night of camp, we were all on the floor together. It was very kind of like deep worship, and I just remember seeing her across the way, really worshiping in a way I've never seen her worship, but I've seen her take ownership of it and know that she really wants to follow Jesus for herself.
I think the two main pastors in my life right now are my dad and Ryan Sweat, because they both just pour into my life, teach me so much about the Word. I don't know exactly what part of ministry I want to go into yet, but I know that for the rest of my life, I want to be teaching other people about the good news.
I didn't know it then, but looking back now as the pastor of 1122, it makes a whole lot of sense that God would put me under his leadership for a decade to rub off a bunch of rough edges. I mean, you think I'm rough now? Ha! Imagine if I hadn't been discipled by Pastor Jerry for 10 years. There's no way that I would have been ready to pastor 1122 without his discipleship and without his encouragement.
I want my legacy to be an authentic walk with Jesus, that I realize, he's the Savior, he's the Lord, he's the Master, he's the CEO of the church, not me. And I'm a servant, and I'm called by him to serve him. But I want to pour into the next generation. The kingdom of God is not about me, and it's not about Joby. It's going to be about how we're handing off the baton to the next generation